Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Joanne. I'm a law student from Australia. I notice that I'm not sitting in the right spot. I've just moved myself, so I'm just a bit more in the middle. I hope you're well. I know I've come on early. I've been sitting here. I have to say I was a little bit bored. I should be doing other stuff, but I'm procrastinating. So I thought I may as well procrastinate with you all. So today I want to start off by talking about an absolute injustice that has occurred. David McBride was sentenced today. Now, if you don't know who David McBride is, he was a military lawyer who was a whistleblower. He had some evidence of war crimes being committed. He went to the up the channels. No one would listen to him, so he went to the media. And so today he has been jailed for leaking confidential documents. So I want to just get some reactions because there's been widespread, lots of reactions about this today. So it's start day for democracy. So it says he was sentenced. He's been sentenced to 5 years, 8 months. And so this is the Human Rights Law Centre has said it's a dark day. The outcome confirms how broken, how badly implemented our federal whistleblowing laws are, said Professor Brown from Griffith University. And everyone is saying that, the decision's wrong. Now, his lawyers have come out and said they are going to appeal because they couldn't actually put any evidence into the court. So that's what they're appealing. They're appealing the fact that they couldn't actually get any evidence into the court. You can't defend yourself if you can't use the evidence. So this is even gone over to the BBC. So this is from the BBC. Australian Army whistleblower jailed for leaking documents. Now, in the US, whistleblowers are protected, but not in Australia. He pleaded guilty to stealing and sharing military secrets after rulings sunk his defence. He said he was a lawyer, so he said he had a moral duty to speak up, and it launched an inquiry which found that Australian forces unlawfully killed 39 Afghans during the war. It sparked uproar in Australia, putting the spotlight on what some would say are flimsy whistleblower protections and slow progress towards prosecuting soldiers alleged to have killed with the impunity under its flag. Now, ironically, I believe that none of those soldiers have actually been persecuted. The only person persecuted at the moment is the guy that uncovered it all. So they said he was concerned about the attitudes of the commanders and at what he thought was an over-investigation of troops. But instead, the information he provided underpinned a series of reports in 2017 called the Afghan Files, which gave unprecedented insights into the operations of Australia's elite forces in Afghanistan and contained alleged war crimes. Prosecutors argued McBride, and the prosecutors were government lawyers, the government, was motivated by personal vindication and that the way he gathered, stored, and then leaked the documents endangered Australians' national security and foreign policy. His lawyer asked for leniency, asking that he shared the information with honourable intentions and out of a sense of personal duty. During the sentencing, hello, Harrison, the judge agreed that he was good character, but said he seemed to become obsessed with correctness of his own opinions. So he'll be released. He'll be eligible for release for parole after 27 months. As the sentence was read out, some in the public gallery yelled out, "Shame on you," towards the judge. His support dog nearby, McBride, hugged his friends and family before being led off into custody. He maintained that the leak was justified and that he'd exposed wrongdoing. "I did not break my oath to the people of Australia and the soldiers that kept us safe," he said on Tuesday, ahead of his sentencing. So that's gone across to the BBC. Now, interestingly enough, his lawyers shared something interesting today. He plans spending his first night in prison today. And let that be a lesson to you all. Obey. We will appeal, David, he says. Now, this was in Parliament today.
To 5 years and 8 months in prison for the crime of telling the truth about war crimes. Why won't your government admit that our whistleblower laws are broken and commit to urgent reform to keep whistleblowers like Mr McBride out of jail? Thank you.
It was directed to the Prime Minister, confirming that the member for Ryan has asked her question. The Prime Minister has the call.
Yes, Mr Speaker. This matter, as the member has indicated, was finalised in the courts today. In the report, it also indicated that there would be an appeal to that before the courts. I'm not going to say anything here that interferes with a matter that is quite clearly going to continue to be before the courts, because to do so, we know what the consequences of that are.
Sorry. I'll start again. Today, David.
So there you go. So that was in Parliament today. So essentially, government's not saying anything about it. I thought they had something else in here, where they had a that was him and his support dogs, with his support dog today. So that was the Parliament, but I thought they had him doing a yeah. So essentially, the Attorney General had every opportunity to be able to free him and drop the charges, and they haven't. And that's really what's got a lot of people riled up at the moment about it all, because he now has gone to jail. He's going to jail for actually doing the right thing. As I said, he had to plead guilty. He didn't have a choice. So this is So, David,
I found a new bookshop online. I'm Kathy, and today I wanted to...
The first Australian to front a court and the first Australian to go to jail over the alleged war crimes in Afghanistan is the whistleblower that brought the allegations to the public's attention. And I'll tell you why the government's behaved this way. Because governments, be they LNP or Labor, they hate whistleblowers. They hate people speaking up. They hate people shining a light on official misconduct. And they consistently want to punish the whistleblower, and they consistently want to send a signal to would-be whistleblowers to shut up, to not break ranks, to not cause problems for governments. That's how I explain today. That's how I explain the fact that David McBride, the Afghanistan whistleblower, will be imprisoned for at least 2 years, because that's what the government wanted. The government wanted to punish David McBride for causing trouble. The government wanted to punish David McBride and to send a signal to other insiders to stay on the inside and to stay silent.
that was Andrew Wilkie. He's an independent MP. And so that is correct. The only person from the investigation of war crimes to be arrested is the whistleblower, which does not seem fair. Before he was taken into custody, he hugged his family members and friends, including his ex-wife, who said it was a bitter pill to swallow. So I'm a bit annoyed because why is the guy that revealed it all in jail or going to jail? Now, there was another one. He's also the first whistleblower in living memory to be jailed. So there was a witness came, Bernard Collery, helped expose Australia's immoral espionage against Timor, and Kay was given a suspended sentence, and Collery's case ended when the Attorney General intervened. So he could have done it. And this person says it's not in the public interest to jail people for telling the truth. So yes, it's really, really shocking, in my opinion, that we have a man tonight who uncovered some atrocities, and ironically, one of those people accused of war crimes is still free. So this is wrong. Yes, it is wrong. Rex Patrick is, he was another politician. He's saying about it. Yes, David McBride gets 5 years for exposing defence incompetence and war crimes, and this guy is still free. Another politician speaking out. This is McBride's ex-wife.
The two girls that you have together, how are they coping today?
I've had the phone, one of them. The other one I'm still trying to get in contact with. We did talk as a family about what the outcome could look like. These are not easy conversations to have as a parent. They've already been through so much for so long now. In a way, closure is good, but it's a very challenging conversation to have with your children. So time will tell. They put up a brave face, but it's not easy.
Yeah, so we've had that one. So as I said, they are appealing. They will be appealing. And there's been a lot of support for him today. Scandalous news. So yeah, it's not. This was him arriving at court today. So someone actually said if he was an rapist or a pedophile, he'd gotten less prison time. David McBride raised his concerns internally. When they weren't addressed, he went to a journalist. Now, it's the first person to be jailed over war crimes, 5 years and 8 months for helping expose the issues. Whistleblower David McBride has been sentenced to, it's a big serve, objectively, a major blow to any prospects that anyone will dare come forward in the future. So you can see that a lot of people are speaking out against it. And whistleblowers are crucial. Whistleblowers are crucial to our country. So says David McBride going to jail and our country is going to hell, says this person. So Ben Robert Smith and Robert others walk free. David McBride is jailed. Whistleblowers are heroes, yet they are being silenced. And yes, and look, independent
achieved today exactly what it set out to achieve, which was not only to punish the whistleblower, but to send a very strong signal to other insiders: don't speak up, don't cause trouble, don't break ranks, don't cause difficulties for the government, because if you do, we'll come after you. Governments hate whistleblowers. Governments want officials just to follow orders and to be silent, and that way governments can get away with whatever they want.
So yes, so he's been very, very says without brave public servants, whistleblowers and insiders, the PricewaterhouseCoopers and larger Big Four consultancy crisis would not have surfaced. Locking up those who blow the whistle protects scoundrels and schemers, a terrible outcome. Michael West, what justice is that a whistleblower is sentenced to prison while war crimes go unpunished? PricewaterhouseCoopers stole government documents for private profit and is back consulting. David McBride stole documents in the public interest and he went to jail. So, as I said, it's an injustice. It's an injustice, and I hope, and I know they've said that they're appealing, because, as I said, there was blocks on the evidence because they were saying the government blocked, went to court and got all the documents blocked, which didn't help. So I'd be interested to see what you think. As I know that, as said, in the US, they protect their whistleblowers. A lot of countries protect whistleblowers, but Australia, they don't. And I find that to be not very happy. So yes, so that's what's happened here. Now let's get on to our other person, because I'm not going to be long tonight either, because we're really starting to push boundaries, I think. Let's just have a look at Instagram at the moment. It says, that time a woman of God, Hannah Shin, emailed one of her mentees in church and told them they could never question authority ever. But this is not a cult. Nope, not at all. Roberto, I have receipts for days. And if you notice on the tag, she's got cult education. The comments under Miranda's videos are definitely cult followers. Some of them are the same ones over and over with each dance video. It's obvious. Yep, and no negative comments or questions about the series, none. So are they deleting them? She says, absolutely. That's funny. Someone else deletes comments too. Now, again, we have this allegedly is a receipt of an email where she says, don't quit. I don't know that that's an email. What is that? Katie Joy says it's an email to one of the mentees and said you could never question authority. It's just a piece of paper with stuff on it. It's nothing. Like, what is it? Another is just don't question your authority. Whatever they say goes. These kinds of boundaries must be reinforced and dealt with if disobeyed. Yes, we are soldiers, elite ones at that. This is how we battle. This is how we prepare. This is who we are. Now go make changes every chance you get, because there's a lot of work to be done. What on earth is that about? It could be anything. And then, of course, we've got the shield out. So I got my first ever handwritten card from my kiddo for Mother's Day. Writing has been a huge journey for him, and this is a huge accomplishment for him to create something like this on his own. I've learned that comparing my son or our relationship to neurotypical relationships would never make either of us happy. I remember distinctly making the clear decision to never compare my son to his peers or to look to my friends as benchmark for normal parenting. Why compare myself to normal parents when our journey will never be normal? I used to grieve, feel bad for myself. I learned this was so selfish of me. He needs a mum that champions and accepts him. Why would I grieve anything? My son is perfect just as he was to be. He's taken longer to reach milestones, but he's also proven so many experts and doctors wrong. Watching him learn to read, write, and enjoy school has been so much fun for me as his mother. He has grown so much in the past few years. Everything in his life improved a million times over after he underwent open heart surgery. I cannot express to anyone that doesn't know, but congenital heart defects impact so much more than the heart for children. Many of them deal with development and physical delays because their bodies are so tired from their hearts working so hard. I'll never forget the weeks after his surgery almost 6 years ago, and he began hitting milestones he couldn't meet prior to the surgery. He hit the ground running and hasn't stopped. His heart repair is holding strong 5.5 years later. We know that he will need another surgery in his teens, but we aren't afraid because we know this is necessary and will improve his life. He is so much more than his medical diagnosis, autism, and struggles. He's an awesome kid that loves life, dinosaurs, laughing, his friends, and his parents. Today he told me I'm his comfort. If I achieve nothing else in this life, I'll know that I made him feel safe and continue to comfort him through everything. I love being a mum. This job allows me to be his mum and work from home. Thanks for being here, reading this post, and engaging in the topics. So, a cover. Someone says, normal is the setting on the dryer. Everyone deserves their time to shine. And she says, I love this. Says, I have an older sibling with special needs. It breaks my heart when my mum said that she played the comparison game. It was fueled by toxic people in her life. So happy you have this realization, determination. She said, we never compare, we only celebrate. So, yeah, so she brought out the shield. Okay. Oopsies, I've just gone too far back. All right. So then we've got this one. Netflix is set to release a 3-part series about the 2015 hack of the infamous cheating website Ashley Madison. Well, most people know Z-list celebrity Josh Duggar's name was released in the hack of this site. Duggar is only briefly mentioned and his story is not included. Instead, Netflix follows the story of Christian vloggers Sam and Nia Rader, who shot to fame through their viral videos on YouTube. In 2015, Sam and Nia Rader were riding their new fame as successful vloggers with millions of subscribers on YouTube. Their channel was built upon Christian values, and Nia gladly played the role of submissive, dutiful, and always ready to keep her husband happy. In the series, Nia proclaims that one of her most important jobs in her marriage was to ensure that her husband would never cheat on her. Sam's radar's narrative appears to be one of a man that is bored and unsatisfied in his mundane marriage. He sought out the cheating website to find excitement and believed Ashley Madison was the answers. Despite claiming on YouTube that he never cheated, Sam admits to years of infidelity and sex outside his marriage. A wife of a man that died by S after his name was released by the site shared her story of her husband's shame following the release of his name and the heartbreak of losing him. A couple in an open marriage praised sites like Ashley Madison for helping keep their marriage alive. Netflix introduces insiders at Ashley Madison, international forensic investigators that attempted to determine the source of the hack, and law enforcement that attempted to determine the origin of the hack. The series reveals little new evidence and reminds viewers that most people on the site never actually met people through the site due to their use of bot accounts. Coverage of the scandal is described as a witch hunt of innocent people that never cheated. Unfortunately, the narrative falls apart because multiple sources used in the series share that their marriages were riddled with infidelity beyond the website Ashley Madison. Overwhelmingly, the series misses the mark about the damage and pain which occurs with infidelity and paints cheaters as the victim. So there you go. She didn't like it. So obviously hers is going to be better, her doco. Then she's got Isaiah Shin supports a cult leader and works as his recruiter. Today he attempts to discredit the trailer from the new Netflix series, Dancing for the Devil, the 7M TikTok cult. Isaiah and cult bots are blowing up Netflix on social media, claiming the journalist involved in the series has a fake narrative. They are placing the credibility on the series on a journalist. They are mistaken. Actual victims share their stories with plenty of receipts. Isaiah is being sued for fraud, aiding and abetting, hello Lulu, and recruiting members into an alleged human trafficking ring, which Labour traffics dancers and others for the purpose to enrich Robert Shin and his inner circle. Has she just accused now Isaiah of everything that she's accused Robert Shin of? Because that is just unbelievable. Our review of the Netflix series. So she reviewed it, so she didn't like it. She didn't think it was any good. So apparently, Janice Duggar's suspicious return to Instagram praising Mum Michelle provokes outrage and concern. Really? All right, so that's about the vloggers. I don't think they did very well. So yes, it's that's the Instagram account. That's her Instagram account. So let's have a look now at what people have said. Miss Balls has got. She's so funny. She cracks me up. Miss Balls, who'd watch this series, Trolling for Dollars. Oh dear. So Wooden Eagle says, hello, I'm 5.5 years post-op. You've been on social media since 2017. Since you didn't catch a break until 2019, the Amber Pudwood said 5 years ago, your son had not just had surgery. But for argument's sake, let's pretend he did. What kind of mother would replace taking care of her pre-op son, talking to strangers online in a dark basement? Do you even know what stories you have told people? This is interesting. This is Lydia. This is the person that sued Robert Shin initially, and they lost. Netflix just announced their documentary on the cult I grew up in, a documentary I was not part of. I never knew this one. My previously well-off, self-made family was the entire reason why the cult was able to operate. The siphoning of our finances is why I was raised from ages 5 to 18 in extreme poverty, and why, upon escaping, my family and I had to fight tooth and nail to create the lives we have today out of absolutely nothing. No work history, no social skills, no friends, no family, not a single iota of comprehension for how the real world worked, at least for me. It was like I was the kindergartner as I entered, as I was a freshman in uni. We were utterly brainwashed and abused in every sense of the word. The cult leaders, siblings of which you'll probably only really learn about in the documentary, had very little before they got their claws into us. Serious documentary conversations that seemed like done deals with major networks, and it was a lot of intense re-traumatizing to get nowhere. I was in therapy 3 times a week at this point, so this Netflix doc is all very excruciating for so many reasons. It's like clockwork. In March 2022, they went viral. In March 2023, they went viral again. In May 2024, Netflix announced a documentary. Cool. I'll never really be free. Well, it'll be interesting, Lulu. How long before KJ said she grew up in a cult in extreme poverty? Cool. I'll never be free. I cannot begin to describe how badly the re-traumatizing broke my brain the last couple of years, and it feels like every time I'm healing up, something huge happens again. This is also the 3rd time in a row it has wrecked me for my adult birthdays. Know that whatever gets released by Netflix could not scratch the surface without us. The deep lore is blood-curdling. It says, Fame grabbed and tried to take down to get this documentary, so take anything you watch with a grain of salt. I'm highly skeptical of any documentary without my family in it. We were the financial sources and one of the original members back when they were meeting in the living room. My mum is the only one to have sued them for this, to my knowledge, and we lost due to it being a religion. And thus we are the keeper of endless receipts. Finding out at the airport and having a breakdown at baggage check alone was super fun. So my point is, so here's the interesting thing is that you're doing this documentary, and so she's doing this documentary, or this documentary is being done, and you've got all these people on it, but you actually haven't got the original. You don't actually have the original person. Does that make sense? Like, why wouldn't you have the original people, or the people that left the cult? Why wouldn't you have them all? Why only a select few? Unless there is an agenda at play here. So interesting. I mean, that's the thing that baffles me, is they've obviously only got a very select narrative going on, a very small narrative. And it's interesting that Katie uses a lot of the stuff from that lawsuit, which failed, and yet they didn't speak to them. One thing that she does say, interestingly, is about the re-traumatization, that victims get re-traumatized. And I think that's also very, very important to remember, that victims get re-traumatized. That will be very interesting to see how she's going to do that. How's she going to explain working on a docuseries? How is she going to do that? That's a very interesting thing. Now, the other interesting thing is a lot of the stuff that I I think she seems to be playing the court by, well, that's right, and they will lose. They will always lose. You don't play the court. You don't play the court. So what is 1 + 1? I don't know, Harrison. A window. Oh dear. I still can't believe the Wilkins sisters do sites. Look at one of what plus one of what? Answer. That's correct. That is correct. Oh, look, this is Miranda. Let me just say, while Katie Joy's exploding, digging her hole, her grave, Miranda Derrick is, look at that, 15 hours ago, looking fabulous. Look at it. Apparently, she's going on vacation. There you go, vacation vibes. There you go. But I thought she was in a cult and she couldn't go on vacation. Miranda sings, yeah. And look, Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to my beautiful mother. And then someone says, she does. And then Kelly Wilkins says, I love you more than you ever know. Thank you so much. You mean the world to me. Wow. Is that a conversation of people trapped? You know? Not why, Harrison? Are you going to tell me what 1 + 1 is? That's right. She did admit to contacting the Wilkins 2 days ago. $1 Million Babies. Oh, that's with B dash. Look at the puppy dog in the background. Oh, look at her. Doesn't she look beautiful? No wonder her sister's jealous. Oh, look at the doggy. Oh, look at the doggy. So there you go. So that's what Miranda's been doing while Katie Joy's been doing that. Oh, really? Oh, yes. Yes, I saw that. Yes, I did see that. That was pretty good. I did see it. I thought it was funny. I did see that he had made it to Reddit. Oh, look, they're writing. I did see it. I thought it was very good. I did think it was very good. Yeah. Now, the other thing that's really interesting is that, thank you. Yes, I saw that you posted it on mine first. So thank you. I can say it was on my channel first. Is that her average views? So when I first logged on to when we first looked at this around the Garrison time, that she was averaging 134,000 views a day. She's down to 128,000 and now. So that's her average. So she's gone down. She's going down. Down. So there's a lot there that are all over the place at the moment. So her views are going down. Yes, Lulu, pretty free for being controlled in a cult, correct. You are correct. So at the moment, the Australian Treasury is delivering his budget today, which is going to be interesting. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. So let's have a look. What has she posted? So today, 14 hours ago, so she posted a Duggar one that got 36,000 views. And she did Vloggers Sam and Nia's Infidel, got only 8,500 views. Go. So she's struggling. Like her Seeking Sister Wives ones haven't done very well either. Anytime. So Sister Wives, 53,000, 84,000, 48,000. That's Joanna Duggar. So yeah, that's if she doesn't do Duggars or Sister Wives, no one's interested by the looks. As soon as she changes to something else, no one's interested. Says this video isn't publicly available. Look at this. What do I think the judge is going to? Well, look, it all ultimately depends on whether she's handed over discovery. Now we're making the assumption she hasn't, but she may have. I mean, I've still sort of given her the slight benefit of the doubt that she's handed over something. I don't think the judge will be very happy that she's still shooting her mouth off. I don't think the judge is. If by chance she has done everything, she hasn't complied by Discovery and she's releasing it all on social media. I don't believe that that is going to go down well. Usually they may do, sometimes they might, the judge either can do a default judgment. I don't know whether they would consider it a contempt charge, but sometimes if you don't follow the directions of the court, you can be done with a contempt of court. Look, I don't know anyone that's never complied with Discovery. What if what she's saying, well, here's the thing. If what she was saying is true, then why didn't she hand over everything straight away? What is she hiding? Yeah, but it all could be true, but there are still obligations with the court. So, you know, I don't, just because, remember, the judge can only make decisions whether you're defamatory based on what's in court. If it's all true and she's not put anything into court, she'll be deemed to being defamatory. She proves to have defamed them. Does it matter if what she said? Well, yeah, well, if it's not in the court, if there's no evidence in the court to say that it's true or not, then the judge can only use what's before them to make a decision. Now, if it is before the court and is proven to be true, they will still probably talk about the wasting of the court's time. But I don't know, you know. But remember, there are the egregious allegations of, she said it again today, human trafficking, and we saw her waterboarding claim evidence that she said, and I think just about every person said, well, that's not waterboarding, that's baptism. So I mean, if all of her evidence is like that, then it's going to be deemed defamatory. But remember, that's my opinion. There's no point sitting on the information if the thing is, right, let's just say I was in her position. If I had evidence to show it was true, right, I would be putting it all in the court so that the judge could see, hey, it's right. But if you don't put anything in the court, then you have a bit of a problem, don't you? She's trying hard to prove that she's trying hard to prove she's right, but the court of public opinion is not going to help. There's no point trying to get all of her subs and all of her subscribers and all her fan clubs and, you know, her cult followers on her side. She's actually got to show the court that she's right. In my opinion, she's putting her energy in the wrong places. And here's the other thing as well, that if, for example, she had put the evidence in to show that what she was saying was partly true, 7M may have dropped their lawsuit. But not giving anything, not showing anything, not doing anything everybody just assumes that you've got nothing. So as I said, you can try and rally the troops as much as you like, but at the end of the day, she thinks this documentary will end this lawsuit. I don't understand why. Well, again, they're interviewing people that are currently in lawsuits with Shin, and which I think is very foolish. The guy that talked about his computer, it was rather reasonable that he hasn't, some of those claims that they've got in there are actually, I think, sour grape claims. So I don't know. Look, I think she's dug herself deeper. If only she would be quiet. If only she'd be quiet. And I think for me, yeah. But in my opinion, her lawyers need to be stepping up to the mark and going, you need to stop. You need to stop. You need to stop. Now, if they don't know what she's doing, I mean, you think about it, all the postings she's done the last few days. If you didn't know, like, for them to stand there and go, well, we didn't know what she was posting, it's going to look really foolish for them when some of that stuff, like calling out Isaiah Shin for allegedly now being part of the human trafficking ring, which is what she's accusing him of, is not smart, and they should know what their client's doing. I hope she can afford 2 Bentleys. Oh, that's right. She also apparently showed this. And again, she's called him Roberto. And so she's played. I think says, "Hey everyone, please help us create fake engagement on Chloe's social media. Wonder what they do with dancers to increase engagement." And there's an email, as I said. Now again, she's saying here's about obeying authority. I don't know what context that's in. I believe he's a probate attorney, correct? Again, it just says original message. Again, I don't know who it was sent to or anything, but it says, hey, blank. I've not seen anything, everything that she's shown me, everything that she's saying. Apparently, Daniel Joseph told the men at a study that he forged real estate documents and had people sign documents not knowing what was being signed. Daniel Joseph was the mentor for male dancers. He left in 2022 after allegations of SA were made against Robert Shin by former multiple members. Again, where's the evidence that happened? Where are these alleged forged signed documents? She also wished Kelly Wilkin a happy Mother's Day. The Netflix series on 7M Films includes many voices, and there are many former members that aren't featured or chose not to participate. My hope is this series will compel and motivate others who have been hurt by the group to feel safe to share their story. Many members were simply too scared to go on camera and feared legal retaliation, which is a real threat given... Okay, all right, Lulu. Too scared to go on camera, feared legal retaliation, which is a real threat given many of us involved in the series are either being sued by Robert Shin or suing Robert Shin. I find that to be very profound. Why is it that the people in the docu series are either suing Robert Shin or being sued by Robert Shin? Every voice matters and every victim's trauma is valid. I hold space for everyone that has been harmed or exploited by Robert Shin and his group. Why hasn't she mentioned about where's her compassion? Oh, and then this is Katie Joy's mother, and if Miss Balls actually wished Katie Joy's mother Happy Mother's Day because she didn't wish her own mother a Happy Mother's Day. A narcissist would rather impress a stranger than care for their family, apparently. A narcissist is someone who has an excessive sense of self-importance and a constant need for admiration. They often prioritize their own needs and desires above those of others, including their own family members. So this is what someone says. Yeah. Look, until we see the next hand that's played, it's really hard to know where it's going to go. To be honest, I don't know how this. I know judges don't like fake journalists.
A friend of mine, John Watson. This is an old. Excuse. But this is an old friend of mine, John Watson.
Mike, can I borrow your phone?
I'm sorry, I left mine in my coat.
Here, use mine.
Oh, thank you.
Joe's looking for a roommate also.
You could stay with your brother, I suppose, if his aggressive drinking didn't bother you so much.
So this is Katie Joy's taken that. So he's only got. Dance it out. Oh, look at that. Macarena. Do you remember that dance? High short order. So anyway, that's what Isaiah Shin posted, and of course that's where she's got that. She's taken this from his Twitter, and she's gone, oh, don't call out fake journalists. Have you heard about the budget short order cook, or yet you don't care? So every household will get a rebate on their electricity bills throughout the year. Every household will receive a $300 rebate on the electricity bill. Rent assistance is going up by $9 a week. Medicine apparently will be cheaper again. They're lowering the medicine, the PBS costs again. They're changing the deeming rates for pensioners. So, and of course, there's the tax cuts. Winners aged care, defense, electricity bills, green manufacturing, gun safety campaign, rental assistance, housing, healthcare. Losers, apparently sheep farmers, would-be migrants, international students. Medication's a winner, mental health is a winner, family violence support's a winner, teaching, nursing, and social work students a winner, treasury is a winner, taxpayers are winners, high income earners apparently losers, NDIS are losers, last minute travellers are winners, public service contractors losers, parental leave takers winners, student debts winners, Social services winners. Social media safety is a winner. People with endometriosis have a win. Renewables winner. Sport winner. Tradies winner. Ukraine winner. Universities are losers. And women are winners. So there you go. It doesn't say, but if you're on a disability pension, if you're on a government concession, you'll get the rebate and cheaper medicines, I guess. Nothing that I can definitely see. I'm just having a look now. Why last minute travellers? NDIS. So apparently you don't have to pay extra now. NDIS, let's have a look. I've just got it here in front of me. It's NDIS is the second fastest growing budget pressure after national debt. They expect a moderate growth in NDIS participant payments by 14.4 billion over the coming 4 years, once its reforms are passed in Parliament. A key element of this will be ending automatic top-ups of people's plans when they use all their funds, as the government attempts to curb what they call intra-plan inflation. But it did say it did include an extra 468.7 million to support people with a disability through the establishment of an evidence advisory committee, making it easier for people with disability to navigate services, reforms, and to pricing arrangements and crack down on fraud. They need to. Oh, that's so horrible. Short order, isn't it? They've also government's committed 1.8 billion over 3 years to put more staff on its Services Australia. They've also changed it that job seekers who are unable to work more than 14 hours a week will have their payments raised to a higher payment rate. So they're capping the number of people, international students at university, and they want the universities to offer more from disadvantaged groups. So and permanent migration is going to be capped at 185,000 next year. So they're going to make, it's going to be a little bit harder. We're also spending $500 million on home care packages to try and keep the elderly in their homes as much as they can too. So anyway, that's just some of the stuff that has come out in the budget. So yes. Well, maybe. I know people have criticised the $9 a week rent allowance, but anything's better than nothing, to be honest with you. But I think, the $300, it's funny, the $300 electricity thing, I'm thinking, but the electricity, the rate that's electricity's gone up, it'll be like a month's worth. Thank you, Vedandra. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I thought when I did it, I thought I'd better get this up for Dandra. So yes, but I'm probably, as I said, I'm probably going to do the Star Wars one next year. So next week. So my nephew Harrison's older brother, fractured his ankle playing AFL on the weekend. And he's went to the doctor today and found out they have surgery on Friday. So on his ankle, and his season's gone. He can't play. He can't umpire. It's going to cause him a little bit of trouble. Yes. Well, Harrison was there. He was quite upset because, his brother had to be carried off on a stretcher. I mean, that's pretty, it was pretty traumatic for him. Yeah, so Friday is having surgery and he'll be home Saturday. So, yeah, he'll have some recovery time. So, and it'll be his first week. The really sad thing is that at the end of the month, he was going to be umpiring his 50th game, which was which is a bit of a milestone to be an umpire, an official of the game, and getting to 50 games. But and he just got into the top grade of the competition. He got all great athletes. Well, yes, they seem to, don't they? That seems to be something that they do. I've listened to that. I've listened to that audio again because it's bugged me about this waterboarding. But I swear it's not what it is. So although we talked about David McBride, I talked about David McBride getting 5 years and 8 months. So the only person to go to jail over the alleged war crimes that occurred, the war crimes that have occurred, the only person that has been prosecuted is the whistleblower. Tell me that there's not something wrong with that. The person that broke the story has been sent to jail. The person that said, "Hey, there's something wrong here." Oh, that audio. Oh, look, that audio was bizarre. It's one of the reasons why I can't stand Pentecostal. I don't like going to Pentecostal churches. When she said waterboarding, she laughs like it was baptism, but she jokingly said waterboarding like the priest accidentally put more water on him. Yes. That's right, short order cook. Putting the whistleblower into jail will just no one's gonna speak up now, are they? The US protects whistleblowers. Most other countries protect their whistleblowers, and Australia doesn't. So there have been a lot of. The good news is that the David McBride's GoFundMe has enough money in it to fund the appeal, because the judge ruled that none of the evidence that he had was admissible, so he had no choice but to plead guilty. So now they're going to appeal the decision from the judge not letting the evidence in, and if they can get the evidence in, they may be able to overturn the decision. However, in the judge's defense, he doesn't get to do what he necessarily wants. He has to deal with what the law says, and the law's an ass sometimes. Just to go back to this, I won't be on for much longer. I've got a big day tomorrow. I've got rent inspection tomorrow, so I've got to finish up some cleaning tonight, and then I've got to, because I don't have a lot of time when I get home tomorrow. So just a reminder: the material was used as the basis for an investigation series exposing war crimes committed by Australian defence personnel in Afghanistan, titled "The Afghan Files." Participating there, exposing war crimes jail. What did they use to pour water over? A bucket, a jug, a cup? I bet it wasn't a hose like someone making it out to me. No, I believe I don't know what it was. It would probably be just a whatever they use for baptism. Well, the other thing is that she says in the audio that he was kneeling. Now, we know that if waterboarding was occurring, he'd be tied down on his back and something, and his face covered. So it wasn't waterboarding. Now, someone asked me the other day about protests at university. Now, Deakin University has actually told protesters to dismantle their campsite. This is another one.
Also breaking overnight, more than 100 pro-Palestinian protesters have marched on the college lawn of Melbourne's Monash University, disrupting a Jewish event honouring those killed in terrorist attacks.
Look, I don't have it. In my opinion, both should be able, or was you, Lulu? Both should be able to protest silently. I don't agree with one going to interrupt another's event. I object to that. If you want to protest, protest, but you can do so peacefully.
Police say no arrests were made. Meanwhile, the Albanese government is preparing to unveil new funding for an investigation into anti-Semitism at universities.
So that was that one. So Deakin University is actually Deakin's my university. Has made it today because they've issued orders immediately dismantling and removal of pro-Palestinian encampment at its Burwood campus in Melbourne. The request is being made to ensure the safety, security, and amenity of all campus users. So it says the freedom of speech does not extend to the establishment of unauthorized camps which pose hygiene and safety risks and restricts access, availability, and use of deacon premises and facilities for the deacon users. So that's from the vice. So if they were protesting peacefully and allow everybody to do what they wanted to do, but I believe they are blocking people from being able to go about their business. And then it says, deacon students say we will not be moved. We reiterate our demand that the university immediately divests its ties with the state of Israel. So this is the deacon students for Palestine. It says we demand that Vice Chancellor meet with us. I think so. Short order. We will not be removed. You have the right to freedom of speech and protest. Your email states that our freedom of protest is not being curtailed, at the same time demanding that we immediately cease protesting. This is absolutely Orwellian. It makes us wonder if the person who drafted the letter is a literature student who learned how to govern by reading 1984. We see through it, as does our legal support. I saw that. So this is them.
Against the war in Gaza. Hi, I'm Alec.
I'm Jasmine.
And we're announcing that tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. we're calling a protest here at the Deakin Gaza Solidarity Encampment to call on the community to come out and support our right to continue our peaceful protest against the war in Gaza.
We got an email yesterday afternoon calling for us to immediately dismantle our encampment. It was sent by the Deputy Vice Chancellor, and our response to them is we will not be moved. We're going to be protesting for Palestine, protesting for those in Gaza and in Rafah. And
I might tell you that where they've actually set up camp is the main walkway to all the buildings.
We're going to be silenced by intimidation by our university.
We, as students, have the right to peacefully protest. We have the right to call out our university's ties to weapons companies who are profiting off of this genocide and to demand that they divest from those ties. And we will be exercising the right to freedom of speech and of protest and continuing our camp.
So come on down, join in the protest, help to stand up for our encampment. Bring a tent if you want and we can extend the encampment as well. Everyone's welcome.
Okay, and except so yes, so they've ordered the thing to be taken down. So it says you are now entering free. What does Deakin University have to? Well, that's right. But it looks like all the university students are doing it. So this is what these are the tents on the lawn. As I said, it's in the main area where they've set up. So so they're saying that there's not a hygiene issue. They're saying it's clean and there's no hygiene issue. Oh dear. So anyway, this is the first. It says police on uni to break up protesters. Staffer threatens to burn it down. So anyway, that's what does the law say? A leader has written an excellent primer on the. So it's the first you need to stand up and say, please take them down. So this is again the tents going up. I think they're on uni. I think we're on uni break. I think because I think it's exam. I've taken this year off. So I think it's uni week. I think it's uni prep week. Yeah, look. Oh, now they're going to go after the guy who the university is named after. Okay. I mean, I could say if they're not happy with what Deacon's doing, they can actually go and change universities. There's lots of different universities around. That's all I'll say to that. But anyway, so they've ordered I don't know how that's going to go, but anyway. So Lulu, you did ask me about it, and I said I hadn't heard about it, but it's funny, I've been hearing lots about it now. So there are protests around. So the interesting thing is, if you actually look at that, the land the Palestinians are, I mean, there has been unrest in that part of the world for years and years and years. And in fact, the Romans owned it at one point, the Babylonians owned it at one point. It's never actually been owned by the Palestinians, ever. So but anyway, I don't want to get into a debate. I have no problem if you want to protest, but you've got to do it peacefully. I mean, there are people that are protesting that are blocking streets off. There was when the police actually have to get involved so that an emergency service vehicle or a paramedic can actually go and do their job because of the protesters. We have a problem, and because you stopping an ambulance from going to do its job, it may be your house it's going to. That's what I say. Anyway, I'm needing to head off. I've got to do some work. Finish off some work tonight and some cleaning. So I've got a rent inspection. I hate them. And no doubt I'll get into trouble for something. I always do. I think that was everything that I wanted to talk about. I think we've gone through all of the Katie Joy stuff, and particularly Katie Joy trying to say that all the negative comments is some spam bot by Isaiah Shin. We're not students, they were professional. Well, that's the other thing. Are they really students or are they professional protesters? Because when the Westgate Bridge was blocked off, they were professional protesters. I mean, people didn't take too kindly to that, because you block off the Westgate Bridge, you essentially block off. You essentially shut down the city. So anyway, all right, I'm going to head off, and I'm going to catch you. I'll catch you probably in a couple of days. I'm hoping to put some other stuff up unrelated to this, but there'll be another podcast coming up later in the week. Inclusion talks will be done later in the week. So, and also there is, with the being Olympic year, an Olympic Games podcast is also. I'm doing the editing and the put together, and I'm doing all the fun stuff. I'm not doing the podcast. You won't have to listen to my voice. But there's an Olympic Games podcast with I think the first time is two commentators who have done numerous Olympic Games talking about their favourite moments from the Olympic Games. There's been a few, hasn't there? Anyway, I'm going to catch you later, and I will see you again. Please make sure you hit like and subscribe, and ring the bell, and hopefully it